particular players you want to?
Nope. It'll just all come out.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep. Welcome back. This is episode 131 of the NYYST podcast, presented to you by baseballism.com. I am your host, Christian. As always, joined by my co-host, Chris.
You.
And Stat Guy Rye.
What up?
London Bridge is falling down.
Worst 2 days of baseball I've ever watched in my entire life.
Well, you know what? At least London Bridge came crumbling down on top of the Boston Red Sox.
If the Yankees lost those 2 games, I would be flipping out right now. It's the most unenjoyable baseball I've ever watched.
Oh, did you get a perm or something?
Yeah.
It looks good.
Looks like you straightened.
I permed it.
You did?
Yeah.
So we should
Like
make
Derek Jeter in that SNL skit.
we should make an announcement right off to start the show here. Please go to iTunes, 5-star rating and review. We did get the requisite number of Punch for the Pot.
Oh, a lot. We talked
did.
about ordering me a Giancarlo Stanton jaw protector.
Nope.
For this.
Flush, skin to skin.
Very nervous.
Right there. Just like
So
I didn't perm my hair, dude. It's just I took care of it today.
we'll make it. How about we make a deal? All right, we'll just give a little heads up to the future of the show here. We're gonna record Friday afternoon to do little first half review type wrap up show. Joe Rivera is gonna join us.
I like that.
To come do that. Then after the show, I'm gonna be leaving for vacation, so you two dingleberries will be handling the show by yourselves on Sunday. Then the show will take a hiatus until I come back from vacation.
How long are you going away for?
I'll be back on Thursday.
I'll probably do some live stuff while you're gone, just to keep the interaction.
Okay.
You gonna
going.
call in? Maybe get a little.
I'll call in Sunday to
prank call us.
check in on you guys. We'll set that up.
We'll see.
Last year, I
Maybe.
I think we'll do it a little different. Last year, I opened the show and stayed on. I think I'll just call. You guys can handle that yourselves.
Why don't I call you for an interview?
Yeah, we're not gonna call you.
We're talking with special guest star of the Munch on
Ohio Sports.
Munch on Ohio Sports. Special guest from NYYST Sports. What is
Bless
it?
you.
Jesus God!
I felt that coming.
What is he
along
always?
also there.
He never gets our Twitter handle right when you're on there.
No, he doesn't.
Ever.
Yeah, he gets it right.
No, he doesn't. We love him though.
It's Munch.
Great guy.
So yeah, so just a quick as I was saying here, Ryan had to sneeze there and throw me off my train of thought here. So we'll record Friday, July 5th. We'll go through the league, wrap up the first half of the season, even though there will be 3 games left to play at that point, with Joe Rivera, the Sporting News. Then Chris and Ryan, and then I'll call in at some point for a couple minutes. We'll have the official wrap up of the first half of the season after the Yankees complete their series with the Rays. And then we'll be back, all 3 of us together, to record July 14th after the Yankees complete their first series back against the Toronto Blue Jays. So that'll just a little preview of the scheduling of the show going forward.
Do you base your vacations around
the All-Star break? Yes, I do.
I love that about you.
That was a good catch. I didn't get that.
What?
That's awesome.
No, I like going on vacation during the All-Star breaks, so I don't have to miss that many games. I'm gonna miss most of the Tampa series.
You'll watch when you can though.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna Sunday at 1:00 game. I'll watch the game sitting on the beach, but I'll probably miss Friday's game because we'll be out, and then you'll probably be getting back from sitting on the beach because they play 4:00 Saturday. I'll probably catch the first half of the game before we go out to dinner. So that's usually my wife's good like that. She knows that to schedule during it. She's the one that plans vacation. She knows when the All-Star break is.
That's why you married her.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
One of the reasons.
So I think it's fair. We'll give Chris today, July 5th, and I want to be here for it. So, and July 7th, those recording dates. So we'll give Chris this next week or week plus whatever.
To prep my face.
To prep his face. And then starting on July 14th, that recording date, it's open season.
It's
Oh my
it's
God.
happening. Where do you think's the best landing spot on your face?
I think you're way too concerned, and I don't like. I know you.
No, you gotta rock that chin, bro.
I know you've been training a lot, but like you're not.
First of all,
You're
I
not
haven't been
Mike.
training. Okay,
You're
stop
not-
saying the word training.
You're not
I
Mike
work out.
Tyson. You
I
can't-
work out and I hit a bag.
You're not going to be like, oh,
With
I'm
the
just going
picture
to
of you
jab
on
him right in between his. You might miss where you're going.
No,
for
I know
it.
exactly.
No, you gotta rock
where
that
I'm
chin,
going.
dude. You gotta rock the chin.
Rock the
Right,
chin,
I'm gonna
bro.
hook your chin.
Rock the chin.
Now,
I'm gonna left
first
hook
of
your
all,
chin.
Here's the problem.
That's what I'm doing now.
no, the real
all right?
problem
He's
is that
too
you're
far
you're
away from me.
You're antagonizing him.
Yeah, you're making it so much better for me now. I'm glad that
He
you
doesn't
just
really
said,
want to hit
Yeah,
you.
now
but for the
I
fans, he's
kinda
going
do.
to, but you're antagonizing him.
Yeah.
Here's a good question.
where he's gonna land it. He's doing all his training.
Here's a good question.
You know when the best part is to do when. Yeah.
Here's a good question. I got to ask
I
this
got reach,
before you.
bro.
Here's a good question.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you guys said it would be better if I didn't know when it was coming.
I agree.
If it was a planned punch, hands behind my back, boom. But because I don't know that it's coming, if I catch it and
You'll
move,
not be
You're not
able
gonna
to see
catch
it coming.
You're
am
not
I
gonna catch it.
am I able to get out of the way?
Yeah.
If it's just
You cannot.
sure.
You
it's
cannot
like a
fi-
pitcher who's going to hit
No,
a guy
you
on
physically
purpose.
can't
If you
leave-
miss, you miss.
You can't physically leave your chair.
I won't leave the chair.
You cannot
But one
physically- You
punch.
can try to block
if you
it.
miss the punch,
If you block it, you block it. Okay, I think that's fair. If he blocks
Fair.
it, he blocks it. But your
Yeah,
ass.
this is a good angle because right here in your
but
face
seriously,
with-
your ass can't come off the chair to move out
or
of
else
the way.
free punch.
Or free punch.
Okay.
We have to see though, because we might have to just plan it out where you're looking at the camera and I hit you, because it might like you're gonna know if I'm moving closer.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I do have to get a little. Closer.
Well, you know, here's the. It would be funny if he starts to show knocked out because when he starts recording, he looks away at the camera and boom.
That's true. But if I'm
I
looking
wish you
at
told me that. Just
if I'm
the two
looking
of
at
us.
the screen though, I can see him. So I'm just gonna
yeah,
keep
but
my eye.
I'm gonna.
You guys got to get creative with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Oh, you're gonna get it. Don't worry.
So the Yankees played this weekend.
Oh, you want to change the subject now?
No, I'm scared.
So, yeah.
Shittiest baseball I've ever watched in my life. If anyone thinks that that's entertaining, man, we definitely love a different sport. That was unbearable.
That was not baseball. What we watched this weekend was not baseball. I'm sorry.
Unbearable.
50 runs in 2 games. That's not. And I like offensive slugfest. I really
I
do.
hate them. I always have.
But that's like my limit is like 10-8. You know, maybe like 9-7.
But an offensive slugfest, because we watch so many games, even in an offensive slugfest, you don't have one team scoring 6 runs in the first and then the next team getting up in the bottom of the inning and scoring 6 also. It doesn't happen that way.
Chris, the Yankees were up by 11 runs yesterday. And the Red Sox got the tying run to the plate in the 8th inning.
And
Yeah, what it was
Chapman
17-6.
Yeah. And
It's a
then
joke.
again today, the Yankees were really in trouble.
12-4.
not fair to either team. You could see once the Red Sox realized today they weren't going to win the game, you could see how frustrated they were getting. And there was one player on the Yankees I could see some frustration from. That was Gardner in the outfield. He was a little frustrated with the playing conditions.
Yeah, at 17-6 yesterday, both managers start pulling players from the game.
Yeah, Judge even got pulled.
Judge-
today.
Well, apparently that turf was like not even close to the turf they play on here.
No, and Gleyber Torres said that today in a postgame.
It wasn't broken in. They were the first people to run on it. It's just, listen, it was cool. The atmosphere was
yesterday.
awesome.
It wasn't the same today. I don't know what it was. There was more
Well,
electricity.
a lot of the hype was.
There was way more electricity in the stadium for Saturday's game than there was for Sunday's game. But you know what? And I said this today, and I stick by it. And I didn't like it when the Yankees were down 4-2 going into the 6th, and Ottavino came in the game because I didn't want the Yankees chasing this game. Honestly, I didn't. They won yesterday. You saw what a shit show that game was, and I didn't want them chasing the game. They did what they needed to do this weekend. They already won a game. There was no reason to subject your top guys to that.
Well, you know, according to AJ Przinsky, we have to keep an eye out for the Red Sox, so they wanted to bury him.
And you know what? And then it was the 7th inning, and then all of a sudden they scored 9 runs.
32 hits they had in this series, the Yankees.
I don't know what the 2-out scoring was today, but Saturday's game, both teams combined scored 20 runs with 2 outs.
Are you with me on this in saying it's more than just what were they saying, the aerodynamics of the stadium and stuff like that?
I don't know, man, because I'm not a scientist.
Like, you don't just
you think they were juicing the balls a little bit?
They were doing something.
Because I don't think it was that, just because I think 11 of the 17 runs the Yankees scored yesterday's game weren't via the home runs. I mean, there weren't a lot of home runs being hit.
Well,
there were a lot.
I think a lot of the hits you can attribute to the turf being quick, getting through in some places where it wouldn't, which is why you got to credit Didi for some of those plays, man. He was phenomenal. But I think juicing the ball or doing something to the ball would be too obvious. I'm going with something with the mound. I think they experimented with something with the mound.
I believe that it was Susan Waldman. I could be mistaken.
I think that's who you told me today.
Said that there was an issue. A couple of the pitchers said there was an issue with their landing spots, that they couldn't drive through. And, I don't know.
Part of my theory, though, kind of went to shit today, because you had Ottavino, who was brilliant, and you had a close, low-scoring game for how many innings? 6?
Yeah, it was 4-2.
It was 4-2. So I was like, maybe I'm wrong. But then, of course, it ended with 20 runs?
Yeah, it finished
22.
Hey, you know what? This is all you need to know about how crazy this series was, and that there was something definitely going on here. The best pitcher to take the mound all weekend was Luis Sessa.
Maybe that's for a reason. Maybe guys like him benefit from whatever the hell was going on.
I don't know. I honestly, this was not fun. The Yankees won both games, so thank God for that. Because if they didn't, I couldn't imagine feeling worse about. Honestly, I never felt worse about 2 wins in my life.
Seriously.
Especially when we should really be celebrating the fact that, you remember when we recorded a couple weeks ago when they had the chance to sweep the Red Sox, and we said, this is now you bury them. The Red Sox are. They're dead. They're buried.
They're dead in the water.
Yeah, I think they have a 4% chance now of winning the AL East.
They're dead in the water. I'll say it now. It's close to the All-Star break. They're 12 out of the loss now. They're done. They're done, and that doesn't mean they're not going to make a wild card spot, which they can still be scary.
They have to
in the postseason.
If the season, if there's still half a season to play, but they would have to leapfrog 3 teams to get the second wild card right now. And they are, but it's not insurmountable. They're 2 games behind the Rangers for that second wild card, but Oakland, Cleveland, and then they would have to jump Texas to.
I think it's been 4 years. I think it was 2015, the last time the Yankees had this big of a lead in the AL East. It's not something we've been used to over the last handful of years. We're usually used to playing catch up.
Yeah. It's really hard to sit here and break down these games, because it wasn't
baseball.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. And it's almost a shame that you're bringing a sport to another country, a rivalry that has gone on for over 100 years. And that's kind of what they get. And maybe it was exciting for them. I don't know. I'm sure just being there was. But a 17-13 Yankee Red Sox game where the pitching looks like they're throwing batting practice, to me, that's not what I show up to. When you have 2 guys the
caliber of Porcello and Masahiro Tanaka, we know that each guy has their ups and downs. They're not legitimate like ace types, but they're still really good pitchers. Tanaka is really good, and that's what really surprised me, is that you would think that being in a different environment, national game, all that would be something that you would see the best of Masahiro Tanaka.
Right, he loves the spotlight. He loves it.
And Porcello, he's been a Cy Young Award winner, so he's got he's got the tools to be throw a great game. And these guys gave up a combined 12 runs and got a combined 3 outs. To me, that's not that. I don't know. I just can't chalk that up to both guys having a bad game yesterday.
And you know what? As much as I agree with you on Boone not going above and beyond and exhausting some of the guys today to get this win. If you really think about it, the Red Sox go home now from London, losing 2 games.
They go to Canada, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah. But they lose these 2 games where they're sitting there just like us saying that wasn't baseball.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. They're coming up with excuses. We wouldn't have lost if we were home. That was ridiculous. They have a negative taste. They have a bad taste in their mouth over it all. And they lost. They lost these 2 games, and now they're 12 out of the loss column. That really, I mean, that puts a dagger in it, I think. And I think today was a big win, especially because the Sox had a lead all game.
Yeah, they jumped out with back-to-back homers in the first inning. Who was it? Bogarts and
the Mets. Can I just interrupt
Martinez?
this here? We're
Yes,
recording
please.
during
Yes, please.
we're recording during Sunday Night Baseball. The Mets are playing the Braves, and Noah Syndergaard left the game after 6, I believe. Let me just bring up the box.
Does it show a pitch count? I need to know how many pitches.
Actually,
he's at.
5 2/3. He left, but the game was tied. He threw 106 pitches. He was also just coming off the IL too. So he leaves the game. It's still tied. 7th inning. Here we go. Mets bullpen. It's now 5-3 Braves.
Jesus. When does it end? Today. This is it now, I think.
You think what's going to happen? Mickey's going to get fired?
Maybe. Something's got to give, man.
Yeah, you can't let him keep rolling out there like that.
And you know what? We know this is a Yankee podcast, and we know my personal Twitter account. I don't want to be told what I'm allowed to tweet about, but it's filled with 99% Yankee fans. But we live in this town. This is a big story. As bad as the Mets are, to not even, if they were bad, they're just losing games. That would be one thing. But every single night, they either have a lead or are tied going into the late innings, and their bullpen gives it up.
Plus, we're living in a world right now where the Yankees are playing in London and soccer was being played in America at Yankee Stadium. So we need to talk a little bit about baseball over here in this area. And the Mets are relevant right now.
So if the Mets
in a very
lose tonight,
bad way.
They'll have lost 8 straight games, and I believe in every one of those games, the bullpen would be hung with the loss.
That's sad. It's sad. Are these guys that bad, or is the coaching staff just not getting the best out of their players?
Well, I mean, if you look at the names they're trying out of that bullpen,
it's probably a combination of both of those things, but they're just not that good, dude.
Is Regan not the grandfather figure that they had hoped?
Probably not. I mean, the guy is
as per Mickey Callaway, the most clueless manager in baseball.
You ever hear this guy, Brooks Pounders?
Who's that? A coach?
No,
he's really their best bullpen.
Is that his nickname?
No, that's his name.
He was born like that.
Real name.
Is it Brook or Brooks?
Brooks
Pounders.
Brooks Pounders.
I mean,
Jason Vargas.
He's a starter.
Jason Vargas.
I know, man.
Jason Vargas. Name. Most consistent Met right now. Probably.
I
don't know.
Oof.
How much more can you say? They're going to lose. They suck.
Yeah, but you know what, man? Like, they're honoring the 69 Mets.
It's frustrating. We're not. We are nowhere near Met fans.
wanted to see them. I went right from the Yankees because the Yankees played like 9.5 hours yesterday.
And today. And today it was
only 8.5.
What year was that? They went on that nice playoff run. I enjoyed watching
15?
them.
15,
with
yeah.
Murphy,
and
Harvey, and those guys.
I went right from the Yankee game to the Met game yesterday, and I was rooting. Not that I was like into it like a Yankee game, but I wanted to see the Mets win yesterday. They're honoring the 69 team. They had, it would have been nice, and then here we go, another. It just, you can't. I mean, really, could you imagine if we had to suffer through something like this?
No.
There's nothing more deflating than the way they're losing baseball
We
games.
have our fans right now attacking Zach Britton for the way he pitched in this series.
Yeah.
And they won both games.
And they're winning, and they're the best team in the American League.
The best team in baseball, I think.
No, the Dodgers still are, but the Yankees, even though it's less games, the Yankees have the least amount of losses out of anyone in Major League Baseball right
to
now.
me, this was a really dangerous playing situation scenario for Britton because he's a ground ball pitcher.
Right. Anything on the ground was flying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pitcher that would benefit the most from playing there would be the Chapman type.
And
flamethrower.
Did you see the ninth inning today? He was mad.
Yeah,
he got
pissed.
mad today after he gave up. I didn't actually see how the lead runner got on. The first batter got on today because I was late getting back to the TV.
I don't think I did either. Actually,
it says that he gave up a hit here, so
it's got to be a hit.
I don't know exactly what happened.
It was a base hit.
I know that he's credited with giving up a hit here, and then I think he fell down either 2-0 or 3-0 to it was JD Martinez, and then he got mad. You saw
he got dialed in,
and he started throwing gas.
Yep,
and he struck out Martinez in the next two batters, and he
struck out
he bowed his chest out today. Boy.
And you noticed too the
all-star Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah,
the crowd had to have had his speed up on the screen somewhere. Because when he hit like 99, 100, the stadium started to go crazy.
You know, that's another thing I don't understand. That's how you know that these guys don't watch the teams when they do national games. They don't watch the teams game in and game out. But it'd be nice if they got some type of they did their homework a little bit. Like I think it was Smoltz Saturday. It said that Chapman doesn't throw that hard anymore.
He's a bum, Smoltz.
First of all. Yeah, he's not hitting 105, but he was throwing 102 last week.
Day. No, they don't. They don't do their homework. They don't. It's a joke. They do their homework by reading clips here and there or watching some video, and that's it. They don't sit there and watch games leading up to the big national game in New York. They don't do any of that. They're calling Adam Ottavino.
That was AJ Przinsky.
I don't care.
I just wish they would talk more about the game. They talk about whatever pops up in their head and just
that's
talk
another
about
thing with this London shit. I can't stand national broadcasts, and
I did like the extra stuff they did, like with the freeze guy with the race.
I saw that. That was cool.
That was awesome.
Don't get me wrong. I think outside of the way the games were played, I think Major League Baseball and London, I think they did a great job marketing this and getting fans excited.
Yeah, I think so too.
And bringing some traditions of both teams over there. I thought that was all great. And I'm not knocking that end of things. But this is the direction, really. I know it's not going to be this dramatic, but this is the direction that Major League Baseball wants to go in a sense of having a more offensive and entertaining game.
This is too much, though.
I just said it's not going to be that dramatic of a difference, but it's a direction that they want the game to go in. They don't want spin rates to be as great as they are right now. They want the hitter to have more of an advantage, and this is what you're going to get from it. Again, you're not going to get 30-run games every single night out, but you're going to have pitchers struggling to get outs. And at the same time, they're implementing rules where a pitcher needs to face at least 3 batters. Just doesn't make sense. Why touch the game?
You know, if you noticed today, if you really were, not today, but if you really paid attention to Yankee games this year, a lot of quick games this year. You had a lot of games that
very quick,
that were finishing 2.5 hours, under 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's... You know, I don't care if a game's 5 hours long and it's entertaining. That's fine, but this was not entertaining to me
because it was literally, you know, that feeling you get during the All-Star game where it's a great feel, right? It's the All-Stars.
Yeah,
it's a cool thing, but it's like you just know that it's played differently. That's how I felt during this. When the Yankees, after that first inning, I thought the Yankees were just on fire. They scored 6 in the first. They were going to shut them down. After the first few innings of the first game, whenever the Yankees would get a lead, I would just wait for the Red Sox to hit a couple home runs or hit the ball hard and tie the game or take a lead again. It was just a matter of who was going to get the final 3 outs without giving up a run. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, like today, the Yankees are up 12-4 going in the bottom of the 8th. I had no confidence that...
If you're playing that game at Fenway, it's over. At Yankee Stadium, it's over. But today I was like, I wonder how it'll be 12-12.
Average pitch speed for Aroldis Chapman's fastball, 97.9. Yeah, he's throwing
hard.
slow, smolts.
Oh, and by the way, John, he throws a lot more sliders now that hit, 88, 80?
Something like
81
that, smolts.
88.
It's because you sucked at closing.
Well,
he's so bitter when he announces.
Yeah, he's totally bitter.
We all know why. He's still upset. He
hates the Yankees.
They should have beat the Yankees in 96. They didn't. Then they got embarrassed in 99. And then in 2009, the Yankees pretty much ended his career when he came in. Remember when the Yankees were like 0-11 against the Red Sox in 09?
And then they won a bunch, right?
And then that Friday night against Jobber Chamberlain started that game, and they just blitzed him, and then that was pretty much it for John Smoltz.
That was it. You never heard of him again.
So he's got a little animosity going towards the Yankees, and
good for you.
It comes out in his announcing. And Joe Buck, who I generally like, I think he does a good job.
I like him now.
He was annoying yesterday.
Yeah, I found both broadcasts yesterday and today to be very annoying.
I
muted it.
I don't know
muted
if
my
you
television
caught.
today.
Did you catch when CeCe was on for half inning?
Dude, the beginning of that was so awkward.
But I don't need to know what he's doing after he retires.
The only time it was funny was when he was talking about Gardner and telling the story about how he warned LeMahieu that, hey, be careful, man. Don't throw your helmet against the wall. It might bounce back up at you, dude. And he ended up not taking his own advice.
But then it was like, Buck was like, well, we don't want to keep you
that was
unless,
so bad.
You got some more to talk about. And CeCe's like, I'm good. Like, what do you want me to say? I'm just sitting here. I'm enjoying it.
And you're kind of throwing him under the bus. What do you want him to say? No, I kind of want to go now.
It was just so bad. So bad. I actually... Even though Matt Vasgersian really annoyed me in the postseason last year, I think it was last year. During the regular season, I don't mind him. I like his energy. He reminds me a lot of Ryan Ruocco, where he goes a little over the top for home runs and stuff. But I like that once in a while.
You're gonna probably be hearing a lot of Ryan Ruocco.
Yeah, Michael K. Right? Sickies.
I forget what.
Yeah.
I forget exactly. He lost. Remember, he sounded terrible.
Yeah, but then the next night, his voice was back.
Yeah, I guess that's bad.
He might be. If I read it correctly, he might be out till August.
Even our announcers are going on the IL.
Jeez, there's something going on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for a guy like Nestor Cortez Jr. yesterday, who got tagged with 5 runs and then had to get sent. He got sent down. He didn't. He doesn't deserve.
Well,
that.
I texted you I texted you guys this. Stats shouldn't even count during this series. It was so think about the inflation of ERAs after this series.
So he got sent down and Chance Adams took his spot. He pitched 2/3 of an inning and allowed 4 runs today.
Yeah, I mean, how are you, a guy like Stephen Tarpley, right?
Yeah, Jonathan.
How are you supposed to,
justify?
Not justify, but what's the word I'm looking for? If you're looking to see if he can open games for you, how does this day, how do you make a justification whether or not he can do this for you off today? You can't.
No.
3 home runs on 4 hits.
If he did this at Yankee Stadium, you'd be like, all right, forget it.
Yeah. Dan Cessa, 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs. Because he kind of throws a little bit harder. He relies on his fastball. I think I
heard he stayed in London.
That's the kind of pitcher I think that really benefited.
DJ LeMahieu's average is up to 345 right now. His OPS. Do you want to know what his OPS is?
Yeah, say it slow.
Crazy. 926.
Jesus God.
926.
What's his? I don't know if you got it right in front of you. I could pull it up, but I need to know what his updated average with runners in scoring position is. The other day it was 493. Is this guy out of a video game right now? Is this the guy who the Yankees got, or is this just a guy riding a hot streak over the first half of this year? Because this is unbelievable.
He is a former batting champion.
This is unreal.
You know how a lot of people say that Coors Field, when players go away from them, that's the real version you get? Like, hold on, I phrased that bad.
No, I know what you mean.
A lot of people say, your offensive stats are boosted when you're a Colorado Rocky, but maybe not playing in Colorado and having a full season away from there. This is the real DJ LeMahieu. Because you have to adjust to that altitude.
You know what's funny?
And then go back and forth.
In my head all weekend, I compared these games in London to Colorado of like how
that
things are
was
just,
the kind of feel I got, that it was something.
Things are just different.
I don't know.
Scout.com is a really good website to give you a lot of easily find a good breakdown of some good stats, but I don't know if it's updated or not because I just started using it. Right now they have DJ LeMahieu listed with runners in scoring at 478.
That's updated.
His wrist speed with 2 outs is 439.
My God.
The guy, you want to know what his OPS is with runners in scoring position? Do you really want to know?
I almost don't.
1.2.
1.2. Jesus God. That's almost more important to me than his batting average at the end. And not when your batting average is that high with runners in scoring position, but on a guy with a lower batting average, his OPS is almost more important to me.
His on-base percentage this month was 434.
I mean,
he's not a guy that walks a lot. He really...
No.
Is it fair for me to say that in my lifetime of what I remember, I have never seen a guy this consistently clutch ever for this long of a span in a season?
Right, for this long, I can't think of anybody. On the Yankees.
First of all, I feel like lately, every time he gets up, the bases are loaded, or at least second and third.
Well, I
something.
tweeted this today. I think when he had the 2 RBIs in the 7th inning today, I said I don't even get excited anymore when he gets a hit with runners in scoring position.
It's just you expect it. That's exactly what I was going.
Yeah, I think Aaron Judge said something like that after the game today. He said it's not a matter of
happen. And is that fair? Is that fair to him when I think he does go into a slump? But you know what he does? He doesn't care. If you really look at DJ LeMahieu, he does not break stride. He hit
a slump too earlier in the year.
You want to talk about poker?
He was really on a little bit of a slump before this week.
I wouldn't want to play poker with DJ LeMahieu. He does not change his expression. He goes out there, he gets his job done, and he goes home. And this is the kind of guy where when everyone was up in arms getting him over Machado and stuff, I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't upset that Machado wasn't landed here because of the hype. But when I had to justify the move, I said, everyone's crying here that we need a guy who puts the ball in play. This is a guy who can alter your lineup in the postseason. You don't want a bunch of strikeout or home run guys, go big or bust. This is your guy who can completely change your lineup. And that's exactly what he's proving to you right now. He's the kind of guy that this team needed. Just one guy. Now it helps that everyone else is really coming through runners in scoring position also, but not on his level.
How old is DJ LeMahieu? Is he going to turn 31?
Yeah, 31, July 13th.
I didn't know he was that old.
So, while you're on vacation, right?
So today, Jack Curry said that since the Yankees only signed him to a 2-year deal, that they should really think about extending that deal. Why not?
I mean, let's see.
Let's put another 2 years on it.
I don't mind it.
Think there's a flash in the pan?
I don't. I really don't. I think he's a talented baseball player, but the only thing that scares me in baseball now is we've seen guys go from dominant to just fall off the face of the earth. It's just like, that's it. They lose it so quickly. Listen, Robinson Cano has had a phenomenal career, but no one could sit here and tell you that he was going to be having the year he is this year. Whether you thought he was falling off or not, you didn't think he would be this player this year. It's Chris Davis, another example.
Yeah.
I mean, some guys just fall off. So I don't know.
I think Robinson Cano has a lot of other factors going into why he's not playing well this year.
Robinson Cano. If you combine Manny Machado and Bryce Harper's WAR, which everyone loves, right?
WAR
3.3 WAR 2019. DJ LeMahieu 3.8 WAR.
It's unreal.
Higher WAR than
what's their individual WARs?
0.8 for Bryce Harper And then that would make it a 2.5 for Manny Machado.
Now, is it fair to sit here and say that DJ LeMahieu is a better baseball player than Manny Machado?
Yeah.
Right now? And that's all that matters.
Value-wise,
that's the problem with baseball fans. Sometimes their argument is about now. Sometimes their argument is about career. All that matters is right now.
Look, the only person that, besides DJ LeMahieu, that deserves the credit here is Brian Cashman.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How anyone could speak a bad word about this guy is just beyond me at this point.
Because, when DJ LeMahieu got signed, I think that was like the real tipping point for the Yankees are cheap crowd, where they thought that the Yankees were just cheap, and there was, it was not that you wanted to fight them anymore, but it was almost like that you probably couldn't, because but you know what? Brian Cashman knew what this team needed more. He knew that DJ LeMahieu would be more valuable than bringing in Manny Machado.
How many championships did they win when they were following that strategy of going out and signing the biggest name possible? They got one, right? 09?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
When they followed the strategy that the fans, a lot of them want.
Well, then they were handcuffed, because then you had a bunch of guys
it
like
needs to be a mix.
Yeah.
Which is what it was in the 90s. And that's what it is today.
I'm trying to find this tweet. It was a great tweet. All it said, I think, was zoom in. And it was a guy who screenshotted every like 20 different posts. I think it was when Brian Hoke. Oh no, it was when Jack Curry announced that the Yankees signed LeMahieu. And all the responses are like, this is it. I'm done with this team. You can't justify this move. I hate this guy. Brian Cashman sucks. And look what's happening, man.
People are actually going through on the Yankees Twitter when they announced the signing and retweeting people that were ripping it. It's been on Twitter the past couple of days. Just people that were killing the move.
You had a tweet out there too about, I think it was DJ LeMahieu, everyone apologizing when was it DJ or was it someone else?
I probably the most recent one was LeMahieu. I did one earlier for Gary Sanchez.
And I was like, there's no way people are actually, and I clicked on the thread and people at least admitted how stupid they sounded. That's why you can't be reactionary like that in baseball.
Can we also just make note of how nice of a double play Didi and Gleyber return?
Oh my God. More than Didi made a few phenomenal plays. He was really good defensively.
There are clips on Twitter of the English broadcaster.
We listened. It was phenomenal.
He is so good.
Right? It was awesome.
Oh my God.
I can listen to that all season.
The cut he had today of Didi's home run was unreal. Was amazing.
It was really,
I wish
really
they
good.
did that. I wish they had him doing the ESPN game.
The guy that was doing the color commentary, he was just kind of like there to kind of explain things, and he was a little annoying.
He was a translator.
Yeah.
Baseball translator.
But the guy, I don't know his name. I wish I knew his name. He was
the
phenomenal.
Best part of the home run too. If you really go back and watch it and listen, the annoying guy that you were just speaking of was trying to get a point out, and he didn't stop when Didi hit the ball. The other guy had to be like, hold up a second. This ball is going to get hit 500 feet right now, and had to cut him off. And it was one of the best calls we've heard. It was phenomenal.
The Aaron Judge home run call was great.
I didn't hear that one. I only heard the Didi.
It's on my Twitter from yesterday. There's like a 6-minute video of his calls from Saturday's game. And today, the only one that I saw that was on Twitter was the Didi home run.
And then you got the video going around of DJ today that we listened to before we came on. And I think the media is making a little bit too big of a deal over it.
Yeah, we heard it. He didn't say anything.
He said they're good, but I think we're better. Yeah, I think so too. You're 12 games up in the loss column right now. Alex Cora came out and said that he thinks he has a great team under his wing right now, but they're nowhere near the Yankees. And that's the truth. And I think Aaron Boone said the same thing about the Red Sox last year. And I respect that.
You know what the Yankees...
As much as I hate Alex Cora, I respect it.
Here's a little irony. You know what the Yankees win pace is for this year?
100 games?
108.
Really?
Yeah. Their win pace is at 108.
I think the Red Sox are at 91.
Which is still phenomenal. I mean, that's still a good season.
That's not phenomenal. That's a good season. 91 wins is good.
Okay. I should have put my phenomenal into context of saying they're 12 games out of this division. If you're telling me they end with 91 wins and they're 12 out,
winners in the
that's a phenomenal statistic.
How are they going to win 91 games? They played 84 games and they're 44-40.
That's what someone said on the radio today.
That's not right.
No, they got to be at 88 now.
Yeah, they got to be in the high 80s.
Well, they've played how many?
84 games.
No, yeah, they got to be like 85. It might have been going into the London series. It might have been.
But the
91.
Yankees today, I did hear that their win pace is 108, which is crazy because that's what the Red Sox won last year, and that's what everybody wanted to say the Yankees were bad last year because the Red Sox.
How many wins do the Yankees have?
They played. How many games have they played now? Are they at the exact halfway point now?
I think we said either yesterday's game would have been or today.
The Yankees are 54-28, so they have played 82 games.
Okay,
so yeah, they're on a 108 game pace. They're on a 108 game pace. Can you just punch them now?
No, they are not.
What are they on? A 107.5?
No, say it again. They have 54 wins.
They're 54-28. They played one more game than half a season.
And 82 games, right?
Can you please hit him?
They are on pace for 107 wins.
107 point.
106.68.
Whatever. They're on a pace for 108 wins.
It's unreal.
You're such a little shit.
Well, I want to be accurate.
Don't be accurate. They played one more game than half a season. They've won 54, double it. It's 108, okay?
Okay.
And the Red Sox are probably on pace for 108 or 88. So the Yankees are going to win. They're going to bury the Red Sox by 20 games this year.
It's unreal. And that's one thing you got to give Cashman credit for also. Even when this team isn't that good, they're good and they're relevant. How many games have we watched where the Yankees were out of it in the regular season? Not many. What did Jeter play in 5 to 10 games in his entire career that didn't mean anything?
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
It's probably under 10, maybe close to that because they were kind of knocked out early in 2014.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. What was I going to say? You know, part of what the Yankees thinking was in this past offseason is that the Red Sox were not going to be able to play at the pace they played at last year. And they were right.
I mean, you would never expect a team to play at that pace back-to-back years, but you didn't think they were going to be this much off from where they were last year.
Hey, you know what, bro? They wanted to take the ritziest plane in plane history
and not get a friggin' bullpen.
And not get a bullpen. So this is what happens.
All right, let me ask you a question. Ryan, listen in.
Huh?
Listen in to this. I'm going to ask you a simple question. What team is better? Would you say the 2018 Yankees or the 2019 Yankees?
No, this year's team is much better. I don't care what stat that you're going to bring out. This is a better team.
This team's better. They find so many different ways to win this year.
Through 82 games last year, would you say this team has been better or last year's team has been better?
Record-wise?
Just in general, in your mind.
This is a better team than last year.
They have the same exact record.
It doesn't matter. This is a better team.
It kind of does, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because we're talking about a team in the Red Sox.
He's cruising for a bruising.
We're talking about a team in the Red Sox who were on pace to win 108 games. Who won 108 games last year. They were playing in a division where the first place team was dominant. And they have the same record as last year. My point to all of this is if you really didn't know the record of last year or this year, and you just asked someone which team is better, you'd say, are you kidding me? This team is leaps and bounds better. And then if you showed them after all the complaining and all the crying through the entire season last year, that this team had the same exact record, you would not believe it, because it felt like last year they didn't win half as many games as they've won this year. And it's because of their surroundings in the division.
Well, they went on a crazy run last year, right? What,
you're able to enjoy
2 or something.
You're able to enjoy how good this team is this year.
The guy's name on that Didi Gregorius call, he was calling the games for BT Sports, Darren Fletcher.
Well, we got to get him on the YES Network.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
We got to get him on the pod.
Darren Fletcher.
Yeah, a lot of the perception of last year's team had to do with how good the Red Sox were. I agree with that. I said that 150 friggin' times last year.
But I'm still even shocked that this team has the same amount of wins as last year's team at this point.
Dude, it's, you know how hard it is to win 100 games?
Would you like stop fighting
hard.
me for a second?
No.
I'm just saying.
How about Gardner, man? He was jacked up this weekend.
If you asked,
he was just straight up jacked.
Yeah,
he was feeling
balling.
He was
just
doing
living
interviews
his
with
life.
his shirt off.
It's hard.
I'm just saying, if you truly asked me which team had more wins, if I didn't know what last year's team had,
they had a nice first
through
half,
82
though.
games, I'd say it wouldn't even be close. Right? Don't you get that feel? Putting aside what the Red Sox did last year, I'd still have that feel, because I feel like this team never hit a stride last year.
They clearly did.
They clearly did. They were better than we all thought.
They just weren't.
But
11? How
to-
many games
to
over
your point,
than the Red Sox?
Red Sox won the division by 8 games last year.
To your point, though, that this team is much better. They are a machine built for October.
The machine.
If we get some pitchers.
Yeah, I'm still not. There's still a few things that need to be ironed out here over the course of the next month as we hit July. Tomorrow, when you listen to this, it'll be July 1st. So, you know, they need to get a little pitching reinforcement, and I don't think that just stops at the bullpen. I mean, at the starters. If they can get themselves a bullpen arm, they probably could use it too, to be honest with you. And that sounds a little crazy, but
I'm hearing Will Smith from San Francisco Giants is going to be available.
So he stopped rapping and making movies, and he's pitching now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mets still losing 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th.
Well,
I heard
we got to do updates because that's our next opponent, right?
I heard
True.
I heard the Indians
S for Dodd.
Brad Hands on the Indians.
Yes.
S for
I
Dodd.
heard the Indians
That's
could
upsetting.
be open to dish him out.
Why? Well, I don't know why they would do that, to be honest.
Who?
with you.
I don't know. I
Who'd you
feel
know?
like every year there's rumors that the Indians are going to start dishing out people. But I don't know if
The Indians are tied in the loss column for the second wild card. I don't see them breaking it down this year, to be honest with you. They're right there.
Yeah, they're a team that's built for the postseason.
I mean, they're 8 games behind Minnesota for the
The Minnesota
Central,
go on a
but they're
bad-
right
they're on a
there
bad-
for the
I
wild
can't believe
card.
the Minnesota Twins are legit.
Yeah, well,
I'm really shocked.
Just these last 10 games have been so important for the Yankees. They're 9-1 over their last 10. The rest of the division going top to bottom, 5-5, 4-6, 5-5, and 3-7.
This is gonna be a
Baltimore, but
tough-
Who cares?
I still think the Yankees
500 or worse everywhere else.
I still think the Yankees could beat the Mets both games, but it's going to be a tough series
Sweet.
for them
Sweet.
physically.
Sweet.
I still think they're going to win both games,
No,
but it's going to be difficult. You're facing a team who you can very easily justify complacency against at this point because of how bad they are. Plus, you're coming back from London now in 2 games that were just obnoxious. I think these next 2 games could say a lot about this team.
I could easily see them going on a little bit of a losing streak heading into the All-Star break just because of the travel. And, you know, there's
Sweeps.
going to be...
I just don't see this team slowing down, though.
It's sweeps week.
They're still humans.
No, I know. I just think
DJ LeMayeu's not.
Yeah.
I think
The rest of the team is made of human beings.
I'd say that the difference between a good team and a great team is minimizing your losing
Okay,
streaks.
name one team that's come over from London.
No, I'm
This is
saying
uncharted
that
territory.
This is going to be a tough series for them physically.
So wait, they won how many in a row? 8 in a row?
Who?
The Yankees,
The
and
Yankees
then they
won
lost
8 in a
one.
row. They lost
and
one,
now
and now
they're
they've won
5 in a row.
5 in a row.
That's a good team.
Minimizing,
know the sign of a good
minimizing
team?
losing streaks. They
Yeah.
haven't even had one in how many days now?
Oof.
It's crazy.
Yeah, really. Good point. It's fun being a Yankee fan.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Let's hope it continues.
That's all that matters.
There's really not much else to touch on from London. I mean, like we said, it's really hard to break down these games. The Yankees won. That's all that matters.
It was like the NBA All-Star game where they
don't play defense.
Play defense. They just go crazy and score a bunch of points.
Which was funny because there wasn't one error committed by either side in that first game in London.
I think the Yankees made a couple today. But
yeah, the Red Sox made a couple as well. A couple under the mitt errors today.
Well, it wouldn't be a podcast without talking about friggin' injuries. Luke Voigt left Saturday's game with a belly
button issue.
Belly button tightness. But
never heard of that one before. Lower belly button soreness.
Core muscle, whatever. I don't have those, so I don't have to worry about that. But it looked like today...
You don't have a belly button?
No, I don't have
We don't have
core
cores.
muscles.
What's a core?
Today it looked like, though, he was going to get into the game before the Yankees busted it open. I didn't hear anything from Boone or Voigt afterwards because I had to go to a family function. So I was actually late because the game took 8.5 hours today.
We thought before you knew you had somewhere to be, we were like, oh, we can record early today, blah, blah, blah. We still wouldn't have been able to record that early.
No. So I was actually late getting to the family party.
So you didn't hear the post game?
So I didn't hear any post game. So I don't know if he was definitely going to get into the game, but it looked like at one point when the Yankees were down 4-2 before they exploded for 9 runs in the 7th, he was standing over the railing in his jersey with his batting gloves on. So that to me, that was like a sign that Boone might have said to him, get ready. You could be going into this game.
So knock wood, it sounds like we don't have to worry about much for Voigt. He didn't make the All-Star game, which sucks. The All-Star team. That does suck, but maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe he needs to cool down, play these. How many games they have left before the break?
6.
I'm sure they'll be a little cautious with him over these next 6 games. Give him that break to relax a little and make sure he's healthy because he's a big part of this lineup too.
Yeah, and then, we're in London and Brian Cashman drops the bomb. Well, it's not really a bomb because, we kind of expect this type of shit to happen at this point.
Yeah.
That Luis Severino's being shut down again, that he had an MRI that revealed that the lat strain is only about 90% healed and they don't want him throwing off a mound until he's 100% healed. And I had the information a little bit wrong when I told you earlier today that Severino didn't actually hide it. The Yankees knew about it, and Cashman didn't really push for the MRI because he knew that Luis Severino doesn't like to go in MRI tubes. So they still should have had the MRI about 3 weeks ago, but they didn't. So he's being shut down for about a week. I don't know. I at this point, I don't really expect to see him this year.
No. I think if you're Brian Cashman going into the All-Star break and then approaching the trade deadline, you have to just go about this with the assumption that you don't have Luis Severino.
Can this team win a World Series without Luis Severino?
They're probably going to have to.
Because you two were big on that not being the case, that the Yankees would not be able to win a World Series if Luis Severino wasn't here performing.
I'll say this.
We said one of the keys to... Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I'm not going to backtrack from that. I said it adamantly, but really in theory, what the Yankees need is a guy that they can rely on in Luis Severino. I actually, before all of the injury, I didn't even go as far as to say they couldn't win it without him. I said if he wasn't the ace that they need, that they expect, they wouldn't win it without him, even if he was healthy.
I think when we did our season preview or whatever it was that we listed keys to the season, that we said him being an ace was one of the big keys to the season.
Because this team needs a guy outside of Masahiro Tanaka that they know they're going to hand the ball to and they're going to be dominant in the postseason. We don't have that second guy. We don't. We have Tanaka and that's it.
And you know what? That guy needs to be James Paxton, and he needs to go out there and just he needs to go and pitch a big game against the Mets on. I don't know what day he's pitching. I'll look it up in a couple of minutes, but he needs to pitch a big game against the Mets this week. He needs to erase that vomit-inducing start he had against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, he needs to erase that from our minds, his own mind, his teammates' minds. He needs to start pitching consistently.
Paxton's pitching the first game of that series.
Okay, so there you go.
It's a good team to do it against. They got some
big ballpark too.
Yeah, but they got some good guys in that lineup.
You know what? They ripped him at Yankee Stadium. So
this is a good time for him to do it. Beat a team while they're down. They have some good guys in that lineup, some good young guys, but they're a team that you can easily shut down. They'll do it.
Yeah,
don't get beat against this team.
That matchup is Paxton and then still TBD for the Mets. Same with the next game. TBDs.
We'll see what happens. Hap's another guy that needs to step up. Now we're approaching the All-Star break. He needs to get in that groove of being the guy that came over here in the trade. Now, you know what? The Yankees are 8 games up on the Rays. They're 12 games up on the Red Sox. And I know there are going to be people that look at the standing and say, they're only 11 up.
No,
I only look at the loss column. That's the only thing that matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told somebody this today because they were arguing with me. They're up 11. No, I only look at the loss column. That's all that matters.
Can't make up a loss. You can make up a win.
When I give you, leads, I go by the loss column. It's really all I look at. Because like you said, you can't make up a loss. You can make up a win. So that's the way I was always taught, and it makes the most sense to me. So,
And what's the Yankees' record now when they use an opener? 8-0.
8-0.
Wow. Tarpley tried his best.
He did try his best. He did, but
cut that. But I mean, come on.
We're going to be approaching like we said, we're approaching the All-Star break. The trade deadline is coming up. I'm sure Brian Cashman is working the phones. I know people are going to. I know people are going to be upset if the Yankees don't land an ace, but really, teams that have aces don't trade them. Number one, and number two, if they did, they're gonna hit the Yankees with the Yankee tax. So how
you want to do a little reenactment? You can be Brian Cashman calling another GM.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready? Here it is. Hello.
Hi. Is this so and so from so and so?
Yes. Who are you interested in?
I'd like a decent starting pitcher. Maybe it's not, I'm not going to hit you up for your ace, but maybe can I get like your number 2?
Okay, Gleyber Torres. Bye.
No, I hang up on you.
Oh, you hang up on me, right?
Hang up.
Can I get a number 2, please?
Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres. Boom, boom, boom. Hang up. Done.
Like we heard earlier in the week that the Tigers were asking for Torres for Matthew Boyd. And then I tweeted this, and it's true. When Brian Cashman calls teams to make deals and the team's immediate response is Gleyber Torres, they're not really interested in doing business with the Yankees.
No.
Because if
it's like that person who does a fantasy football trade or something, like just trying to fleece you.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it, dude.
But like they should know Brian Cashman is so good at this, so groomed that he doesn't play games. It's not like when you're selling a car and you're shooting high just to see what you can get. When you say Gleyber Torres to Cashman, he's immediately hanging up and not taking you seriously anymore. So you're really putting your team in a bad spot if you're really looking to trade this guy. Because you're just a fool at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're an opposing GM, you have to know the Yankees are not moving Gleyber Torres. You just have to know that. And asking for him is just showing that you really don't want to make a trade with the Yankees.
It's a slap in the face.
Now, if Brian Cashman called up and he said, yeah, well, you know what? I want Frazier Florial and Davey Garcia. Okay, you know what? That's a steep haul.
That's something you can negotiate.
That's a steep haul, but you know what? Brian Cashman's all right. You know what? Let's work on this. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, give me a couple nights.
Talk men into it.
But here's my thing, right? And I've been thinking about this a lot over the last few weeks. Yankee fans continuously rip the Yankee organization for not landing a bona fide ace, right? Off the top of your head, how many true bona fide aces, not available ones, just in general, would you say are out there right now? Just over the last 2 years, nothing before. How many bona fide aces would you say are truly out there right now? 7, 8?
Like you're just saying that are pitching right now?
That are
like
starting
how many
pitchers
aces are there?
Bona fide aces.
Oh yeah, I don't
based
know.
off
That's
of
a
their
great
last
question.
2 years.
And this is what, well, here.
Scherzer, Kershaw.
Speaking of Scherzer, fans have this pipe dream that the Yankees are going to get Max Scherzer, but you have to understand something. Anthony Rendon's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, so this is really like the last push the Nats might have.
And they're back in it now.
And they went out there, they threw a ton of money at Patrick Corbin, and as they sit here right now, they're 2 games back in the loss column of a wild card spot.
So they're not doing anything.
It's the same thing with the Indians. Where do the Indians really see themselves out of this? Where they would be breaking it down and trying to trade guys?
Anyway, my point is maybe 7, 8 bona fide aces out there right now. Because you're not going to consider Bumgarner a bona fide ace. I'm sorry, you're not.
You obviously going to take Verlander. Did you want to take Corey Kluber before this year? Chris Sale?
Is there a better team that lines up for a trade than the New York Mets with the Yankees?
Jacob deGrom?
Noah Syndergaard right now?
Syndergaard, though. I know. I know what you're saying. But I'm just saying
Max
bona fide
Scherzer,
aces.
No, I'm not even talking about the ace thing.
All right,
so you just named 5.
Count them out right now.
Ready?
So, you got Justin Verlander.
1.
Did you? After this year, I can't put Blake Snell in that category. Right?
He had a bad month, but I'd throw him in there.
All right, if you really want to, I'll give him to you because still, all right. Corey Kluber's got to go in there. Chris Sale. Who else?
DeGrom.
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm just going down. The Cubs don't really have a bona fide ace.
No.
You still want to count Clayton Kershaw?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have an ace there. If it's not him, it's Buehler or Ryu.
Do you want to say that Aaron Nola is a legitimate ace?
Yeah. That's 6.
Okay. Max Scherzer.
7.
Do you want to count Zach Greinke?
Sure.
Right now? Yeah, why not?
Okay. Jacob deGrom.
That's 9.
Okay. So you don't even have 10.
Okay. So you don't even have 10, right? How many of those guys are truly outspokenly available?
Probably none of them.
None.
Maybe
right?
you could probably get Zach Greinke if you wanted to.
So my point is,
but that contract sucks.
Yeah.
Where is the bona fide ace that
You're right, man.
Fans want the Yankees to get? And then who do you think, if one of them did become available, they're giving up for him? They're giving up the guys who are the foundation, like we talked about last year, of this team. There is no true bona fide starting ace. That's part of the reason why I said they needed Luis Severino to be that guy, because they built this rotation around this kid. He's young. He is extremely talented. And the fact that he's injured still right now is really discouraging, because I still think they need someone to carry them. And Bumgarner might not be a bona fide ace, but he's a true bona fide ace in the postseason. So I'm willing at this point to take that risk.
Yeah.
They have to bring somebody in here. They can't go into the postseason with this starting rotation. They can't do it.
They cannot. It cannot happen. No. Postseason games are not won on offense.
Which is not true, by the way.
Well, I know, because the Red Sox proved me wrong last year.
No, because actually, people that say that you don't hit home runs in the postseason, there's actually, I can't look it up right now because I forget who tweeted it, but somebody had the numbers where the home run rate is actually higher in the postseason. It's marginal. It's like 0.2, and it makes sense because if you really think about it, you're facing the best of the best in the postseason. You're going to be more likely to score a run when a guy makes a mistake, knock one out of the ballpark, than string 3 or 4 hits off of him.
Well, yeah, I didn't say home runs. I just said in general.
Because I know a lot of people are like, the Yankees hit too many home runs. They can't score in the postseason, which I don't know.
No, all you need, you can have 100 home run hitters. They just need to have an approach in the postseason and realize the type of talent they're facing.
Yeah, well, you know what? Now they have DJ LeMahieu. I think that completely changes the tenor
I said that. It does.
Of their lineup.
It really does. I think, personally, if the Yankees go out and get Bumgarner and they make a move to make this bullpen even scarier, that's enough.
Because you know what? You can't count on Dylan Betances pitching this year either. So
no, it's a sad thing. Because imagine Luis Severino was healthy and and Betances was healthy and on.
I never thought that the Yankees were hiding an injury with Luis Severino last year, but the fact that he has not been able to even sniff the mound this year and how bad he was in the second half of the year, something had, and they'll tell you that he passed his exit physical, and he passed his physical when they gave him the extension, but I don't know. The coincidence is too great now.
Well, didn't he start to pitch in spring training when he reported? And that's really when they shut him down?
I don't think he ever made a start.
Reported. No. I don't think he made a start. I'm saying when they first reported to spring training, he was working out just like
he was working out, but what has he done? He hasn't seen any game action. He hasn't been near a mound competitively, even if you want to count spring training as being competitive, which to a degree it is. He hasn't been... I don't know. The coincidence now is too great for me.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's a shame. It really is.
All right, so let's look ahead here, because unless you got anything else you want to touch on.
No, I think we touch all bases here.
The Yankees are going to be hoping to be touching more bases than the Mets this week, as they take the Mets on for 2 games in Citi Field to wrap up the 2019
First
Subway Series here. They split at Yankee Stadium. Now they're heading to Citi Field, and you know what? And we said this last episode. You know, the Yankees got really, really lucky that they were able to come back to New York, even though it's not home. They still get to go home for a couple of days. Whereas the Red Sox, and it really sucks. And trust me, I feel no sympathy for the Red Sox, but this travel is bullshit. And the fact that they don't even get to go home is ridiculous. So the Yanks will play 2 against the Mets. It's Paxton against TBD Tuesday, and then Wednesday it's TBD versus TBD. I think CC or Hap is going to take one. CC or Hap is definitely
going to be Hap,
one of those spots, and then they wrap up the first half of the regular season here with 4 against the Rays. 5:10, a little weird start time there. 5:10 on the 4th of July, which is also TBD versus TBD, so it's probably fruitless to look ahead any further than that. Like we said, we'll record Friday. We just have to lock down a time. We might actually be recording during the game just to talk to Joe Rivera and break down the first half of the season. So we'll do that. That'll be out for Saturday morning, as I'll be heading down to vacation. And then, as we said, once again, these 2 knuckleheads here will attempt to not burn down the house while I'm away.
Best show ever.
Right. Okay. So that'll wrap up episode 131 of the NYYST podcast. Please follow our sponsors, Baseballism, on Twitter at Baseballism. Stay tuned after the final goodbye from Chris for a word from them. Go to baseballism.com. Use the code CHASE28 for free shipping on your order. Follow us at NYY Sports Talk. Stat Guy Rye.
Go Yanks.
Chris, say goodbye.
Within a game, a bond is made. He teaches his boy a game he played. 2 gloves, 1 ball, a day at the park, and the 2 play catch until it gets dark. And his boy does better than he thought he would, so the 2 played catch as long as they could. The boy and his friends, they play in the streets, tennis shoes and cans, no bases, no cleats. They hit home runs and they turn double plays, 1 great catch, and he's Willie Mays. But the sun starts to set in the old neighborhood, and they played in the streets as long as they could. The boy goes to school and plays for his team. He develops his craft and follows his dream. He has moments of glory, he has moments of shame, but they shape his life and they make his name. But he begins to get old, and it's understood. The boy played the game as long as he could. The boy, now a man, he has a son of his own, and he teaches his son a game he was shown. His son's first game, he sits in the stands. He yells out instruction, but it's not in his hands. And being late for the meeting was not in the plans, but a cheer for his son as long as he can. This is America's brand. This is baseballism. Do you believe in baseball?